Welcome to Shaping Shenanigans, the BCBA group chat where data meets drama, behavior meets banter, and every conversation comes with a side of reinforcement.
Hi guys, welcome to Shaping Shenanigans. I'm Janae.
I'm Aria.
And I'm Katie.
And we have a special guest with us, NaTeisha. You want to introduce yourself, NaTeisha?
Well, hello everyone. Thanks for having me on your podcast. I am NaTeisha Choice. Instagram handles are Quincentennial Choices. That's about it. Ain't nothing else.
Okay, Instagram handles.
Okay, Instagram. She's a celebrity.
So what do you do, NaTeisha?
I am currently in RBT.
Okay. How long have you been RBT for?
2020. Yeah, since 2020.
Okay.
Good 5 years.
Yeah. Since the pandemic.
Really?
Tried to take me out.
Oh,
That's a great time to start.
that's when we were needed the most.
All right, guys. So, shenanigan of the month. How's everybody been doing? Anybody got any shenanigans to talk about?
I don't have any shenanigans, but I've been doing, life been up, down, around, twisty turn.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Definitely same. Been just doing and doing and doing. Busy and busy and busy. I don't know which way I'm going. So we're here,
Yeah.
I think definitely in a busy season right now. Work life, personal life, and then the holidays are coming up.
Yes.
So, just very busy.
I agree.
Busy season.
What about you, NaTeisha? How you been?
I am in the season of rest.
Oh,
While still being busy.
To hear that.
Well, I don't know how that
What
works.
wrestling is.
I think that's a DRI.
Take it down.
It is incompatible. However, it's the season of resting. We're getting more rest and just being more focused and inclined on what it is that I need to be doing, but still busy as in you still have life to handle.
All right.
I love
Balance.
that.
Yeah,
That's so
okay.
good.
That's
I love
good.
that.
Yeah. So what are we going to be talking about today, Aria?
Today we're talking about BCBAs versus RBTs.
The crowd goes
So yeah, that's our topic for today. So you ready to just jump right in?
Let's get to
Let's
it.
do it.
All right. So I got a question. Since this is our topic, what would y'all say the key difference between being an RBT and a BCBA is?
I say for me, I have more responsibilities. I feel like, who said that? I got responsibilities now.
It was a
I
little
feel like
baby.
it was
Oh,
a
that's
Rugrats
Chucky.
here.
Oh yeah, that word is Chucky.
That's how I feel. Like, when I was an RBT, I didn't have to think about much. I didn't really have to do paperwork outside of taking data. I just focused on my one client or two clients, and that was it. Now I have up to 7 clients. I gotta always be thinking about what they need at all times. I gotta worry about what the RBT needs at all times. They got these freaking chats where they're always messaging you. So I just feel like it's a lot more chaos a little bit
Yeah.
as a BCBA versus a RBT. Sometimes I wish I can go back to being an RBT but still get paid BCBA.
Oh,
Same.
girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
People that be like, oh, being an RBT is hard. It can be.
Yeah.
It definitely can be. However, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Throw me in a session.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Throw me in a session. Okay?
Let me relax for a little bit, but then right after I get out of that session, now I gotta think about the stuff I could have been doing when I was in the session.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, literally me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of think it depends on where you are, RBT and BCBA wise, because when I started off as an RBT, RBTs were still writing like the BIP and whatnot, and then getting it approved by the BCBA before BCBA got wind of it and was like, yeah, that's not ethical.
Right.
Right.
Even though it wasn't in their thing until they, redid their ethics code. So when I first started, it wasn't much of a difference. Like, I'm doing the same job you're doing, you're just getting paid more because you have the credentials. Now, I feel like I'm a babysitter. In all honesty.
Yeah.
There's definitely a big difference because BCBAs do write, the entirety of what the BIP is, what we're doing in session, and then we just go out and just implement it.
Yeah.
I can also relate to that when you said, like, back when you started as an RBT, you had, like, more responsibilities and things of that nature, because when I was an RBT, when I first started, I was like a lead RBT, and I was doing things I did not know I was not supposed to be doing at the time, so I can understand that.
Yeah, kind of the same. For me, I feel like when I was an RBT, like, my experience when I was barely a BT, like, before I even, like, got registered with the board, the company that I worked for, just the way they went about things was kind of, like, really chaotic. And so, like, I feel like my RBT experience was kind of, like, tainted in a way of, like, that was, like, my first experience. And so I'm very glad I didn't shy away from the field, but I almost did, just because of, like, how chaotic, and they kind of just, like, threw me in there, and I didn't have a lot of training because obviously I was brand new to the field. And so I didn't stay very long at that company and ended up switching, and the experience was a lot better there, and that's where I became a BCBA. But I feel like the biggest difference for me is the thing that I miss the most about being RBT is, like, you get more, like, kid time. And, like, I love the kiddos, and, like, you just get to, like, see them interact and, like, get to just be with them more. So I feel like that's, like, the biggest difference is, like, BCBA, like, you're more, like, computer facing rather than, like, kid facing, and I really miss that, like, aspect of it. Is you don't get, I mean, like, you're in supervision, so, like, you're seeing the kids, and so, like, you have to, like, kind of like what you were saying, Janae, like, you have to either you want to interact with the kids and, like, build that rapport with them, but then you have all these other, like, BCBA duties that you have to, like, also do at the same time. And so it's like, like, I want to build rapport, and, like, I want to, like, have fun with the kid during supervision, but then it's like, oh, like, you spent your time doing that, and so now, like, you have to find time to do the rest of the things. So it's like trying to find that balance, I think.
And it's hard because are you even a BCBA if you're not jumping out your sleep
Like,
thinking about something you forgot to do during the day?
Hello.
Yeah.
Mid-drive. I'm supposed to do that.
Damn it.
Yeah. It's like a little heart palpitation, like, ooh, wait a minute, I forgot something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can agree with all of those things for sure. Well, with that, what would y'all say, like, the biggest misconception is between the roles of RBT and BCBA? You got something to say, Tisha?
Go for it. We're
It
in
definitely that RBTs don't know as much as BCBAs, because in all of the companies I've worked for so far, there are some RBTs who know way more than what the BCBA does, and then they can tell them their job. They just don't have the credentials. Wholeheartedly. Some people just get it just because they slow.
So I've always said this. I feel like the board has gotten better at, like, trying to make it more of, like, a professional, like, certification and, like, position, because, like, you're so right, like, there's people who are very knowledgeable and just can't pass the test because it's the test that's holding them back, and then there's people that don't know shit and they walk up in there, they're just great test takers and pass an exam, and they're like, okay, so you passed a test, great.
Right.
But, like, do you have all of the actual skills to be a good BCBA?
Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely.
And they definitely
like,
fall through the cracks.
and that's the part where it's like, and you get these shitty BCBAs, and then it's just a shit show after that. Because then it is true, like, and then the RBT feels like they can't go to the BCBA, and then especially those BCBAs that, like, just walked in, took the exam, and they think they're tough shit.
Yep.
And
they don't accept like, you know, suggestions from their team. They don't.
Yeah.
They think you like, oh, like you're under me, like you're no good because you don't have the credentials that I do. I'm like, girl, you just took a test.
Right. It's really just a piece of paper.
It really is.
Credentials don't make you who you are.
It doesn't.
Yeah. And piggybacking off of what Katie said, you can tell like who was an RBT before they became
Oh,
BCBA
Mhm.
just by the way they treat RBT in general.
Yes.
But I agree with NaTeisha. I think one of the biggest misconceptions, or two, is that okay, well, I know what I'm doing just as much as you know.
Mm-hmm.
However, because I do have the credentials and it does fall back on me, at least for me, it falls back on me. Like, I'm going to take full responsibility.
Right.
You have to follow it this way.
Mhm.
And yes, y'all may know certain things, but sometimes it's that technical part
Yeah.
that RBTs are missing because they did not go to school for it, or they haven't got to that part in school yet.
Yeah.
But it's something that definitely can be taught.
Yeah.
I think another big thing is who can do the job without the other.
Mhm.
Like, it's always a
Yeah.
BCBA versus RBT type of thing, and I don't like that in general because like I can't do the job without you, you can't do the job without me.
Exactly.
So
It's a team
It
for a
is.
reason.
yeah,
For sure.
so let's work this thing out. And,
Yeah.
you know, like I won't say all my RBTs, but majority of my RBTs I trust them to try certain things
Mhm.
and come back to me
Mhm.
on it.
Same.
That way I can put it in technical
Right.
terms or whatever I need to do, because they're spending the majority of this time with the kid.
kid.
I can learn maybe 1 or 2 hours and
Mhm.
all right, bye. I gotta go to the next, you know? So, like, they're gonna know those little things. Oh, if you look at the kid for 5 seconds,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a problem. They're gonna know those
No,
things, you
Yeah.
know?
Instead of this side of little Jimmy, he might be doing this.
Oh, you wore orange today.
You don't like this.
You don't like
It's
this.
Thursday. You
So,
don't
like,
like it.
I need you
Yeah.
just as much as you need me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're the lifeline.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we can't do this. I actually saw like a little meme, and it was like Master Splinter.
Mhm.
And wait, is that right? Lord, I may say the wrong thing. Master Splinter was with the Ninja Turtles, right? Or JK?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, we know something. Okay, so Master Splinter was like, you know, leading. He was the BCBA, and he was leading the Ninja Turtles
Mhm.
into like the sunlight or something,
I think I've seen
or something like that. And then there was another one where like the RBTs were these characters and they're pulling the train, and the RBT and the clinical director, they're like looking over like, oh, did this work type of thing, because we need the RBTs. Like, we really need this essential. It's a very essential job, but I don't think that RBTs get enough credit in certain areas.
Not at
too.
all.
Something
Especially not the good ones.
something that I like to do with my team is like be open with them. Like, I ask them for suggestions, and like if I am like, yeah, like we could absolutely try that.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, I try to tell them the why behind we can't.
Mm-hmm.
Or the reason why we can't do something, so it's not just like no,
Yeah.
you know. So
I think
I don't want to
that
shut them down, because like we've been saying, like they are the front line,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're gonna know a lot more than I know about this kid. Like those little nuances and those little things that I'm not always gonna know, they're gonna know.
Right.
So I never like to just shut down, but I will like explain why if the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you always taught me, Janae, is you can't mess up the kid.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can try it and you can shape. You might have to shape it back up later, but
Why, as soon as she said that, I thought of Bart Simpson. And Marge and Homer having this conversation, and here comes Lisa. He's already messed up all this.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
You just create new behaviors.
Yeah.
yeah.
That okay, now I have to go back and change these behaviors because
Exactly.
I went wrong right here, or I reinforced something I shouldn't have. For instance, I have a kiddo who now goes, it's okay, don't cry. when she's sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang,
Yeah.
we did that. Like,
Yeah.
that is completely our fault.
Yes.
That's what she does now. So, okay,
Yeah.
now I gotta go back and change that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me think I have a kiddo. We were teaching, we love a kid that can advocate for themselves.
Yes.
And so one of my kids would just engage in like certain behaviors instead of advocating for themselves in a more appropriate way. So they started to say like, someone enters your space, and instead of like saying like, don't touch and things, it has shaped and formed into don't touch me. So like my kid's just walking around the center, someone just gets a little close to them, they say something that they don't like, and they're like, don't touch me. And we're like, wait, hold on. Hold on. There's a different way we can go about it.
Yeah.
So,
That
yeah.
could mean so many other things.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, well, who touching you? Like, what's going on? It's like, wait a minute, let's
We got a file report on.
Yeah, literally. That's a whole nother
Mandated reporting.
Mandated
Yes,
reporting.
exactly.
Oh man.
Oh, that's another good one. How, as being an RBT and BCBA, with us having that title as also being mandated reporters, how is it navigating that? Like having to deal with like uncomfortable situations and things of that nature.
I like dealing with uncomfortable situations.
I'm gonna say I love them. It just depends on the company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's the hardest thing. It's like your company wants you to do it this way, but no.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way it should be done because we are mandated reporters.
Mhm.
Yes, companies have their own protocol and procedures. However, if something happens, that falls back on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Not on you.
And I ain't got $1,000 to pay for a lawyer.
And
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna be looking at you knocking on your door. Where's that?
Help me. And you know they ain't gonna care.
It ain't
They're not gonna
They'll say,
Fine.
we literally just talked about this at work, and because we had to go back through the mandated reporting and HIPAA training.
Mhm.
And my first question was, so we saw how that last situation happened, and the company reported it, or told the person to just report it to them, but never told them that they had to also report it at the same time.
Mhm.
So not only did they not cover their ass,
Mhm.
but the company only covered theirs.
Yeah.
So to me, because my mother always taught me to do first, ask questions later, or ask for forgiveness later. If I feel something's wrong, I'm gonna do the actual legal way,
Right.
and then I'm gonna just deal with the repercussions for my company later.
But what's crazy is why would you be why would there be repercussions for you as a mandated reporter?
Exactly.
Reporting something that you suspect is happening with a kid.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's a corporation and they about that money.
Like,
Mhm.
that does not make sense to me.
Because they gotta cover their ass in some shape, form, or fashion.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's gonna be them versus us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like my mother says in politics, they're going to cover themselves before they try to cover you.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as long as they can get control of the narrative,
Mm-hmm.
they always have the way out.
That's
And you ain't gonna control my narrative. I'm gonna tell you after I
No,
put the report.
I know
Yeah.
that's great. So since we're talking about ethics,
I don't deal with them.
what are some ethical dilemmas that like may pop up that it may seem like the RBTs, like we as BCBAs are relying on RBTs a little bit too much?
Mm.
I can think of one.
I don't know if it's necessarily an ethical thing, but I know a lot of times with where I'm at, because we do a lot of more in-home,
Mm-hmm.
that the RBTs are like telling the parents certain things, but don't necessarily know how to explain it in a way where it sounds like, okay, but we are gonna work on this,
yeah.
and it kind of freaks the parents out a little bit. But that's not necessarily a ethical thing. That's just a boundary
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
I would have to say insurance. That's gonna be the biggest thing because all insurances are different.
Mhm.
So the way that we communicate with parents versus like insurance wise, parents will ask for one thing to be done, like, hey, I want my kid to be potty trained, or I want you to help teach them like brushing their teeth, the regular life skills that we're normally taught as like RBTs. But then insurance says that's not what we do. We can't do that. So instead of following what insurance tells us that we can do, BCBA is like, okay, we won't do it, but we're going to do it. So if we rebuttal them, depending, like, if we rebuttal certain BCBAs on like what we're supposed to do ethically, then it's like we're very combative.
Yeah.
When in all actuality, I'm trying to protect myself from if y'all get out of it, and they're gonna be like, "Why y'all doing this?"
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's a good point. I think that's a really good point. I think it also comes with like the BCBA one having a good BCBA, and when I say good BCBA, it's just someone like how Katie was saying, explaining the ins and outs of certain things that they're asking RBTs to do, because one thing may appear to be unethical, but if I don't know, it's like a stick situation, because if it's explained a certain way, or if it's being targeted to like assist with other skills that might be lacking, I think everything works out for the greater good.
Yeah. Also, I feel like sometimes I ain't got time to explain.
That
Like, honestly, sometimes like I don't have time to explain, because a lot of times, especially more center based, I'm talking to one person, another person coming up, the kid banging his head. Okay, no, we can't do it. I don't have time to explain. Now, me personally, I would like to try to come back and explain to you why, but I forget. I got a terrible memory, so 9 times out of 10. I'm not telling you no just to shut you down. I'm telling you no because, hey, we can get in trouble for doing this. Or, yes, the parent needs this. However, we have more important fish to fry. So there's so many other things. So I'm just not telling you no to tell you no at the end of the day.
Right.
So going back to your point, what about when it comes to like when the RBT like disagrees with a treatment plan or like a decision? How do you kind of navigate that?
I'm the boss who cares what you think.
And that's wrong inferiority.
Wrong answer.
No, I'm just joking. I think a lot of times I won't say a lot of times I've had that, but I can't explain the why, or we just disagree on the why. I think sometimes you have to test it out and be like, okay, well, hey, you try this. Let me know how it goes. Because sometimes you just know, hey, this ain't gonna be way. And they need to learn that, like, okay, like, I see what you're saying. For those more sensitive kids, I think at a certain point, it is just like, okay, well, we can disagree to this. We can agree to disagree. However, we still have to, like, go this way. And hey, if I fudge up in the end, we'll figure it out. You know, like, I'm not always, and yet it's not always black and white. So because I think something might work out this way, it may not. So, but I'm okay, wait a minute, hey, that wasn't that great. And just going back to the drawing board, because sometimes you have to do it a certain way. You just do. I think that's a part of life. I think now that I have a lot of older kids, that's what we're trying to teach them. Like, hey, this is just a have to. You may not like it, but this is just a have to. So, yeah. I don't know. What should I say?
A question that I have is, why do you think like certain RBTs like don't read like instructional notes like in Central Reach and like follow those? Because like,
girl, I just got a rage moment. I'm sorry. Tag you in, Janae.
Here's what I think. Sometimes it's just a lot. Sometimes you don't have time to read a bit. Hey, this kid already in behaviors. Hey, what do I do, right? And I say this because as an RBT,
You didn't read.
Baby, I didn't read.
Oh, I was reading.
Like you actually
right.
I read my instructional notes like to a T.
And y'all can probably attest to this. As a BCBA, I will go in like, hey, this is how I want you to do it.
Yeah.
You can read the bit and stuff if you want to. However, this is how I want you to do it. The bit just in there to be in there because I need it in there. However, I'm going to show you because too people can interpret things differently.
Yeah,
but if I showed you, what can you attest to? This is how I want you to do it. And I think too that's kind of where that training, that behavior skills training comes in play. Okay, I do it. You do it. I give you feedback on it. We do it again. But sometimes it's just wordy.
I mean, I agree.
It's wordy.
I agree.
I know too. I've learned to chop it down a little bit or do like diagrams. This happens, go here. This happens, go here. This happens. Because it's a little easier and it's quicker to look at and read.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to get to that point. I'm still a baby BCBA, 1 year in. I haven't got to that point. I have plans to like make little diagrams, but I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like it's just been like, read it. I wrote it, read it, damn it.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But honestly, I like to do models too. But I would prefer, like, even if you just glance over it, don't make it feel like my work is gone in vain. Because, we do take our time to, like, write these things and stuff like that. So if I make an update to something and it hasn't been read or, like, at least looked at, and you're coming and be like, oh, how you want me to do this? Wait, what?
Did you read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of Janae, it can be wordy. And some BCBAs don't have any English skills whatsoever. And mind you, I read all bits to the T, and I be like, yo, you need a punctuation here, and that word is not spelled correctly. I be like, hold up, I understand you might be type fast, but let me get this together.
That's horrible.
But however, in full, to be truthful, I think a lot of RBTs, either they don't have the time because a kiddo is already in behaviors, and it's just like I can't sit here and read the page when my kid is like, I'm transitioning onto a kid who's already in behavior. And I know at my very first center, you weren't transitioning off that kid until that kid has calmed down completely, so you can get to the next person.
Remember those
where I am now, you transition regardless if the kid is okay or not.
Right.
So, especially so like if I'm transferring or transitioning onto a kid who's in behavior, I don't have time to be like, oh, it's a new kid. Okay, this is what we go to. Immediately I'm going to do, okay, this is what I was taught in regards to a kid who used to do this, especially if they're a novel kid.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of centers now don't, they be like, okay, well, you got this kid today. They're not even on your team. You don't know nothing about them.
Right.
And you just got to do what you got to do. But in other things, I think some RBTs have read them and then they went to their BCBA and their BCBA didn't listen to them saying, hey, this doesn't work. And we're with the kids all day.
Yeah,
This doesn't work. This isn't working. I'm telling you what we've done to alleviate this behavior or alleviate this. And we've told you multiple times that you're not listening to us because you feel like you're holier than thou. And so now I'm not listening and or reading what you put because I'm telling you what's working when we're back here and you just want to be like, oh, we'll wait you for an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Do what I said and what I wrote.
Yeah.
That's fair too. That's completely fair. With you having so many years of experience as an RBT, what would be like one piece of advice that you could give to someone starting out as a BT or a new RBT?
Don't expect it to be perfect. Because every day is going to be different. You're going to come in and be like, oh, my day yesterday was great. Tomorrow could be a shit show.
Absolutely.
And then if it was back when I first started, protect yourself.
Don't do it.
Protect yourself at all times.
Protect yourself at all costs. Like, at all costs. Like, love these kids. Teach them how to be their perfect version of themselves and not the version that everyone thinks that they're supposed to be.
Okay.
And don't forget about the parents, because the parents are struggling just as much as you struggle back there with them.
Mm-hmm. And even longer.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just have these kids for a few hours a day. Parents have them every day, all day, outside of that. So yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. And it's key to remember that why. Love it.
Mhm. Yes, remember your why.
That says a lot within itself.
Yeah, absolutely. What about y'all, BCBAs? What advice would y'all give to RBTs, BTs, newly minted?
For me, I would say make sure to, like, especially in the beginning, make sure that you're not being too hard on yourself, because it's a field full of all this lingo and all this terminology, and this field has a shit ton of also known as this, also known as this.
Yeah.
You have this, but also known as this. And it's like, it's very wordy, and it's a lot of terminology. And so as a BT or a new RBT, give yourself some grace, and it's going to take time to understand what all these like terms mean, and you know what to do, and to learn how to be a good RBT. You can't this is not a career or a job that you can just walk in and like
Master.
be good at
Yeah.
automatically. Like, it's going to take some time. So I think that would be like my biggest advice for new RBTs.
I think I got a combination of both of y'all. I think definitely start off with your why, right? Because getting into it, you can get into it just to get a job.
Yeah.
If that's your goal, okay, cool, that's great. Still do your job, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you got into it to grow, hey, take all you can, learn all you can. It's okay. It's okay to take a breather. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to have a hard day. It's okay to have a great day where you're just like, I wish this kid's like this all the time. It is okay. I still have them days. I had that day the other day. I wish she was like this all the time. Right? You know, it's okay to have fun. They're kids. Like, yeah, it's okay. Everything will be all right. It's okay not to focus on the programs 24/7.
Yeah.
It's okay to give a kid a break. We need breaks as an adult.
Right.
Mhm.
Give a kid a break. Okay? They not feeling that great. It's okay. We don't have to push these 10,000 programs.
Mhm.
Okay, let's figure out what we need to do in that moment. I think that's pretty much it. Like, it'll be all right.
I feel you. Definitely, like, you have, like, realistic expectations for yourself, for the kids, for the day, all those things. I think the only thing I would add to it is just definitely give yourself the grace, like Katie said. But then also, just remember to start to smell the roses.
Yeah.
But, like, just, you know, don't sweat the small things.
Stop and smell the baby.
Not the baby
Papers,
powder.
diapers, all those things. But no, in all seriousness, just like, and also like, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, like I know in my experience too, like just being too much in your head about certain things, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to not have it all figured out or anything like that.
For sure.
You know, do y'all have any like pet peeves between the RBT and BCBA dynamic?
My biggest pet peeve is I just don't like people that don't want to do their job, honestly.
Mhm. No.
I don't
Facts.
care if you do it badly or you need training. Well, I do care if you do it badly. If you're doing it badly on purpose, like,
Yeah.
that's the problem. But if you're doing it badly because you just don't know, cool, I can work with that. I can teach that.
Mhm.
But when you don't want to do your job,
Mhm.
or also when you complain just to complain,
Mhm.
pet peeve.
Yes. Pet
Pet peeve.
Complaining with no solutions.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
no.
Always finding something that's
Yeah.
wrong, and then don't want to like be part of the solution, but you're always
Yeah.
part of the problem, stirring the pot. And
Yeah, that's my pet peeve
Shut
with
up.
RBCs and BCBA.
Yeah.
yes,
Because
anybody,
It's
Right,
universal.
don't bring a problem if you
Anybody.
can't have a solution.
Please
that
don't.
anybody.
Because I know this is stupid.
Thank
Okay.
Exactly. Here we are.
I'm trying to figure it out too. Okay.
Experience.
I figure out everything going on.
That part. What's y'all biggest pet peeve?
Oh, right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's hear
Right
it.
now?
Lay it out.
Let me pull my list out.
Right.
I don't see, that's the thing. I don't even have a list. Like, even just like in regular day life, I give people the grace that they tend to try to give me.
Mhm.
But just to piggy off of you, Janae, I cannot utterly detest people who you know for a fact that they don't want to be in this field
Mhm.
and they say it blatantly that they don't want to do it.
Mhm.
So then anything that they do after that is just like, oh, I don't care. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So why are you working with my fucking kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you here?
Like, what is going
Just
on?
messing shit up.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's my biggest one, because I'd be looking at them sideways. I'd be at work like, what are you doing here? Like, what is going on? Like, I see you and you're doing it wrong. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But other than that, it would have to be people who gatekeep. I'll say, if you know how to do it,
Oh.
or if you know this, then help us out.
Yeah.
Like,
Baby, do
Be a
it. Take it off my
team
plate.
player.
You know,
Like, be a team player.
I say, delegate. Do
Baby,
something.
I'm trying to teach them some of my techs how to do Canva. Take it off my plate.
Like, come on now.
Because there's already too many things to do. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
But I've also, like, just in my center alone, I've seen BCBAs who have their favorites, who they know are going to school for it. And instead of them helping the people they also know who are going to school for it, but they don't like them, they'd be like, oh, I can care less if you get your hours, if you do this and do that. I don't like that.
And see, that's just not being professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very unprofessional.
Mhm.
That's very, and that's anybody. Like, that's just being unprofessional. That's just being plain hateful and childish.
That's them as a person, not them as a BCBA.
Right.
or them
Yeah,
in
you're
their
just
role.
childish.
Yeah.
Like that. There is no other.
I say, we trying to grow together. Come on now.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
yeah.
For me, I don't know. I think y'all touched on all of them as
I was
far
gonna
as the
say.
pet peeves. Like, just, yeah. I think y'all touched on it all. Or people just not willing to try to.
Mhm.
I think I stressed it. Like, I was down that hill. Just try. Like, okay, you did something differently than what was written, but it still worked. Okay, great. You tried. You get a gold star today type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's my biggest pet peeve, when people aren't willing to try or do the hard stuff, because that's what we're here for. You know,
Yeah.
we're here to make a change. We can't make a change if we keep doing the same thing over and over again.
True that.
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
Do y'all think that, especially with you bringing that up of like certain BCBAs treating other RBTs better or differently from others, do you think RBTs should have a say so in who their BCBAs are?
No. No is my actual answer, but it also depends. Because I think all of the BCBAs that I have been under, I've learned something from. And none of us have really been friends. Couldn't care if we were friends or anything to that nature. But I don't think we should have a choice, because if you have a choice, then you're going to pick someone that you know is... Not everyone is going to pick someone they know is gullible or that'll let them get away with certain things and so forth. But if you pick, then what are you really learning? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I understand like the switching, like every 6 months you switch a BCBA or whatever.
Who do that?
Centers are starting to try it out.
Oh, okay.
But they switch
That's
they
nice.
switch their teams and they just rotate. The kids stay with the RBT switch.
That's a lot of work.
I was
It is.
just
Yeah.
like,
It
not
is
to
a
be
lot of
a
work.
negative Nancy, but that's a lot. Then you got
Yeah.
RBTs who potentially never worked with these kids
Now I gotta
before.
retrain.
Retrain.
And don't get me wrong, I am a firm believer that I don't truly care who works with my kids. You should be able to do your job.
With
Yeah.
any kids you have.
However, now every 6 months I gotta basically retrain.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
But on that note, I feel like you learn something from each person. Now, if that person or if that BCBA and that RBT have a clear bias against each other and they're just not compatible and they don't work, or you feel like there's a rift in between them, or it's just negative Nancy toxicity right there, then by all means, let them have a choice if they want to leave that from underneath that leadership and be like, hey, can I please go here because I know it's either I'm on the verge of quitting or
being a bitch.
So like if it gets to that point, or if you know for a fact, like, hey, I know I cannot work with this person. Can you choose somebody else or give me the option? I think that should be something that can be thrown in there, but I don't necessarily think that you should be able to choose your BCBA.
Yeah.
That's a fair outlook. I can't say that I agree. I was gonna say my bad. I agree. I do agree.
She want to pick.
I do know.
She would pick.
If anything, if I was to pick RBTs, it would really just be for the betterment of my kiddos that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and it kind of goes back to what we've already talked about, of like people actually caring about the work that they do. Like, I can train anybody, but you have to also want to be trained.
You have to also want to be here.
Exactly.
And like want to be trained. Yeah.
Now, caveat to that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have more high intensive kids,
I want the stronger people.
Yeah,
I think that's
okay.
If I am picking, that's kind of how I pick. Like, okay, well, this kid's a little more intense, so I know this RBT is kind of used to that, and okay, I want them or whatever. Like, I pick based off of skills, and sometimes personality, because sometimes you do have those, like, especially with older kids, you have those kids that are a little bit more negative to themselves. So you know who's going to be able to kind of handle that. So I would kind of, if I were to pick, I would kind of pick up, okay, this might be a better fit for this tech. Versus like, oh, I like this tech.
Just
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's like, okay, well, this tech, or even if they're like getting hours, okay, well, you need to learn this. So let's work with this tech on this. Okay, well, you need to learn this skill. Okay, so you go with this kid for that. But not necessarily. I feel like, oh, I like this person.
Just because.
Oh, it's like, okay, no, you have the skills to do this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Do you feel as if RBTs should have the say in whether or not they work with more intensive kids versus less intensive?
Mm.
As a BCBA.
I'm going to say yes and no, but go ahead, Katie.
Oh, I was going to say yes and no as well, but my biggest thing is like, this is where like my RBT brain is coming in. I feel like sometimes, and this is at like my first company as well, where they kind of just threw me to the wolves. Because I'm such like a person of like, I'm gonna read, like I'm gonna learn. I'm such like a, like I want to learn what's at hand. But like some companies will see like, okay, this is a strong tech. They can work with all the strong kids, and then they just leave them with those kids. And that's how burnout happens.
Absolutely.
And then like that for RBT, yes, they are great at what they do, but that doesn't mean that they need to have all these like higher intensity behavior kiddos all the time. Because then they're going to get burnt out and then they're going to leave the field.
Right. Yeah. And it builds for just bad morale for your team and everything like that as well. I agree with that 10 times down.
Yep, that's just literally exactly what I was
saying.
It depends. I was going to say it differently. Like, it just depends on what their caseload looks like. You know? If you have all high intensive, no. No.
For sure.
But hey, okay, you got one, cool. And go from there, you know? But as an RBT, I know what it's like to be
a good
RBT. And they're like, oh no, you can handle it. And don't get me wrong, my company really did care. I really did still have that support. Even with the support, sometimes it's a lot of still, you know?
Sure. You're doing it every day.
Like even when I first started back home, it was like I had a kid who would beat me. Like she would literally just hit me, like all the time. Didn't hit nobody else on the team, just me and her mom. She loved me the most. That's her love language.
Love tap.
But still, after a point, even my BCBA then, like, she supported it. She's like, okay, we're gonna try to figure this out. Blah blah blah. We tried different things, but I don't want to come to work every day getting beat up. Like, it's a lot, you know. But eventually, it faded out. We figured it out, you know. But still,
Yeah. I agree. I was gonna say something else, but I completely forgot what it was. But
that's very much
I agree with everything that y'all said. It was some good things. Some real good things.
What did you say, Ariel?
Y'all said rewind back. If you're watching, what did they say? As we wrap up this episode, I have a little scenario-based question for you, Tisha. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. So a parent comes in and they pick up their child. You give them the rundown of what the child did. You know, they followed the instructions. Kiddo used their AAC device. They avoided their peers, but they did tolerate, you know, using prompting that was facilitated by you. The parent asks you, why does my child not have social skills? How would you respond to that?
My response was we would have to loop in the BCBA and ask them questions because I am not privy to give you that information. However, that's not at all how it's said.
That's fair enough.
Like, that is not how it's said. However, on the lines of, you need to talk to your BCBA.
Talk to them, BCBA.
Talk to the BCBA.
That's fair, because you never want to like work your way into a circle of just saying stuff, and you're like, wait, what? And then by the time it gets to the BCBA, they're like, you said what? You did what? Type of thing. Yeah. So yeah, that's fair. All right, another one. What about if you got a kiddo that's having a hard day, because it does happen, and they have engaged in every behavior that's being targeted for reduction in their BIF? How would you go about explaining the kid's day to their parents at pickup?
Using the sandwich method.
Okay.
So always start off with something great, positive. You know, throw in, hey, we went potty at this time. They ate all their food. We built rapport by doing this. However, this is what occurred today. Give them the minimal, but give them enough to where they can go on. And then end off with something more positive at the end. And be like, thank you, kid. Bye.
Go home.
Get out of here.
They had a rough day. I had a rough day.
Bye.
Look, normally the last positive thing is them showing them, like, especially for my non-verbal kids, the ones who are just starting to talk or give the approximations, like, bye-bye, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they say it back. All right, bye. You see it, we working on it.
Perfect gateway to get on that. Scoot on now. Scoot on. Well, we do want to just thank you so much for being our first guest here.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Katie.
We have a nice little gift for you.
Oh, yeah, I get to be the gift giver.
Yeah.
Katie is hilarious.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. And welcome to Target.
This is not a paid sponsorship.
I was just
So thank you guys.
Thanks for joining in to Shaping Shenanigans. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.